The football regulator, right? You support the
Yeah.
idea. You want football. You've said you want football to be fairer. I think from a fan's point of view, look at what's happened to, say, Reading right now. We both support. I'm a Cambridge fan. Charlie's a Torquay fan.
Yeah.
Luckily, we're well run at the moment, but we have no power over it. What do you mean by you want football to be fairer, and how can the regulator help?
So I think the regulator is important. There was a sports-led fan review, as you know, that Tracy Crouch, a Tory MP, did. She's good, by the way. There's a lot of cross-party talking about this. Look, the problems I think that we're trying to address are sort of straightforward and pretty well understood. The smaller clubs that are struggling, I mean, I was very struck by Bury, if you remember, went under. They're back now, obviously, but they went under. Wigan struggled. Other clubs have really, really struggled. So we can't just let that happen. Once you lose a club, particularly, let's say, I mean, Bury, the club came back, but if you lose something like that, that's massive for a community to lose their club. You know, maybe the one place that everybody identifies with, Stevenage, for example. When they got to Wembley, half of Stevenage went to Wembley. This is sort of really matters in terms of the identity of places around the country. So we can't just let that go as if it's something casual. That's not just about football. That's about a sense of being, of place, of, you know, people wherever they are being proud of where they're from and being able to show it through their football. So there's that side of it. I think we haven't quite recovered from COVID for many clubs. Again, I went to a number of clubs during COVID just to see how they were getting on. Lots of them were doing community work, by the way, putting stuff back in during COVID. But they would, you know, the smaller clubs, desperate for their gate money. Without the gate money, they were really, really struggling. They haven't quite got over that. And then the other bit at the other end is we've got to make sure we don't go down the Super League route, where, you know, 6 clubs or so break away from the top. Very lucrative for them, but really, really damaging for football in the UK. So they're all the reasons I'm in favour of a regulator. The government hasn't yet put its proposals on the table in terms of the actual legislation, but in principle, we support it for all those reasons.
What do you think of nation-state ownership? I'm conscious you don't want to lose every vote in Newcastle and half of Manchester in the next 2 minutes, but I can't believe that countries own our football clubs, let alone countries with terrible human rights records. Yeah,
I mean, this is a cause of concern. I mean, I've got to be careful. I'm an Arsenal fan, so sort of saying that other clubs that are in the battle with us shouldn't have the backing they've got is a bit easy to say. But look, it is a cause. I think it's something really, again, for the regulator. Obviously, you've got the sort of the question of whether someone's a fit and proper person, and that should be within the regulator's realm. That doesn't quite work for a country, but I think it is something regulators need to look at. But look, it'd be the easiest thing as an Arsenal fan to sort of say all other clubs should lose their funding, but that would work for us, but it probably wouldn't work for anyone else.